Hey guys, it's Phantom here and welcome back to a brand new video, everyone. So in today's video, I am going to be going over 5 things that I used to dislike about Wizard101. So yeah, pretty much this list is going to be comprised of things that kind of as a child, when I was kind of in the beginning stages of playing this game, right, I really used to dislike, but have actually, came around to actually like them nowadays. It's pretty much as simple as that. So anyways, with that being said, let us get into number 5. So pretty much the first thing that I used to dislike about Wizard101 was actually the graphics. Now let's just go ahead and turn on classic mode real quick. Or I guess, okay, I have to be more specific here. I used to dislike the old graphics of this game, but I will admit this was kind of more towards the middle stage, right, of the block of time of me playing this game. Because as a child, I didn't really, care about that kind of stuff. But I guess, yeah, towards somewhat of the middle area of me playing this game, I don't know, like I looked at these graphics, right, and they're not the worst thing in the world, right, but my point is they're far from the best, and and I wasn't really the biggest fan of them. I mean, I think other people talking about how they weren't that great kind of influenced my opinion as well, so I guess I'm just kind of a sheep in that retrospect. You could probably say that about me. But nowadays I feel like I can actually really appreciate the old graphics a lot more than I did once before, because you know how they did that one thing where they updated all of the graphics of Wizard City. Well, when they did that, I kind of looked back at the old graphics, right, and just kind of reminisced on all of the good memories I had, and I realized, I like them a lot more than I actually thought. So it's kind of interesting that it took a graphics update to actually to kind of push me more towards appreciating the old graphics a bit more. But hey, that's kind of just the result we got, and yeah, I can definitively say that the old graphics of Wizard101, well, I used to dislike them quite a bit, actually. Anyways, though, let us move on. Alright, coming up next on the list of things that I used to dislike about Wizard101 is going to be the entirety of the world of Chrysalis, man. I used to hate this fucking place so much. Oh my god, when it first came out, right, and I had my first questing experience through Chrysalis, I really did not enjoy it that much. I mean, I was still a kid during that time, right, so, I mean, I still enjoyed it a little bit. I definitely enjoyed, like, the game as a whole a lot more back then, but Chrysalis as a world, right, just when compared with all of the other worlds, I just didn't like it. I really did not, and that is really just due to the fact of the longevity of the world. It's just so long. It takes so fucking long to quest through. I believe there are something like 277 quests contained in the world of Chrysalis, which I just think that's just too many, right, for just really any world. I don't think any world should really be that long, and me, as a kid who had just even shorter of an attention span, just really, it just was not his thing. It just was not his thing going through this world. But, as I got a bit older, as I quested through Chrysalis quite a few more times on a bunch of different characters, I began to realize, right, that it's honestly not that bad, and maybe that just has to do with the fact that I've just gotten better at the game and can quest through it much quicker now and much less painfully. But I also came to appreciate many other aspects about Chrysalis, and the main one really was kind of the story, right? That's kind of just like the hallmark of Chrysalis, in my opinion. It really is a story world, the world that is most notably known for its story. That should have been obvious, but you get my point, right? And I think that, at least right in the context of the length of Chrysalis, I guess the story does kind of justify it a little bit. I still don't think it needed to be quite as long, probably, but you know what? I understand it a lot more, and I can kind of appreciate it for what it is. So anyways, I hope that does make sense. But anyways, let us go ahead and move on to number 3. Alright, so coming up at the number 3 spot on this list is going to be Golem Tower. I used to fucking hate this place so much, dude. Oh my god, there's quite a story behind this, right? And the reason why I used to dislike it so much, but kind of now recognize it as, one of the more classic areas of the game, right? I mean, it is really just a total classic. Everyone knows Golem Tower. It's iconic, right? It's where you start the game pretty much. There is Regina Flametalon's quest, which I'm sure so many newer players struggled with, and this does actually in fact feed into my story. So yes, as a kid, I had such a difficult time. I had such a difficult time trying to get the fucking Steam Capacitator for Regina Flame Talon, basically making it all the way up to the top of Golem Tower to defeat the final boss and then collect that item as part of the quest. I just had so much trouble with it as a child. I don't know why, but I could not do it. I could not. I just simply, like, I didn't have the potions. I mean, first of all, yeah, let me just get this straight. I was probably like level 9 or 10 during the time, so, I mean, it wasn't super strong, right? And I guess back then, right, gear was definitely worse indeed. I had just a lot less access to the resources that I have now. Obviously knew a lot less about the game too, but as a kid, this was just one of the most frustrating parts of the game, at least the beginning of the game for me. I remember I spent hours upon hours trying to get to the top of Golem Tower, but I couldn't do it. I would just always die, right? And then when you die, it's one of these places, right? So there's no sigil. So when you die, you just gotta restart. You have to restart the entire tower. So then I was just kind of just in this endless cycle of just death and destruction and just straight anger, and it was the worst thing ever, but I eventually did it, right? And then I was happy, and now, you know, I look back on that with just a sort of fondness, really, because it just really shows and it illustrates how passionate I was for this game. And yeah, that is pretty much it, though, for this area. So let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Alright, so this is definitely gonna be one of the more obscure things on this list, but I used to dislike the way that wands looked in your hand. Now, I'm obviously going to get into this a bit more, but I know that just might sound weird hearing right away, because, I mean, there's just so many wands that just look super, super cool, and obviously opinions change and stuff, and that's why it is on this list. But basically, me as a kid would much prefer the animation that resulted from having no wand in your hand. So I'll just go ahead and show it to you now, right? And I much preferred the look, right, when I was running, but mainly casting, right? And it kind of just discouraged me from using a wand, because as a kid, I was just kind of into whatever looked the coolest, and to me back then, this is what looked cool. And of course, it contributed to just many bad things later on, right? Such as my stats just being lower because I didn't have a fucking wand equipped, right? I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's common sense, really, when you think about it, but there you go. There's the casting animation. You kind of just, like, do a little thing with your hands, and kid me just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I don't think I really realized how important wands were back then, and this didn't last for that long, I believe. I don't know, this stage of my wizard playing career probably lasted only, like, I don't know, 1.5 years or something. It was probably a little bit too long, but eventually, you know, I got over it. I realized the importance of wands, and I still do kind of dig the animation and everything, but there are so many cool wands in this game, and I've definitely changed my opinion on just, like, kind of how your character handles the wands, right? Handles the shafts. What am I saying? But yeah, nowadays, I really do like the look of a lot of wands in your hand, and that is pretty much that. And I know I wasn't the only one that actually thought this back then, right? I have seen comments on my videos. I was definitely not the only one. People did this too. Some people really do prefer that other casting animation, which is totally fine. We will not discriminate. But anyways, though, I think I've said enough for this segment, so let us just move on. As for this last thing, I would definitely like to mention that this is another thing that kind of occurred during the middle part of me just playing this game, right, in all of its entirety. And pretty much, though, what my opinion was that I definitely do not have nowadays, although still kind of uphold it a little bit, is the fact that, well, back then, I used to prize elegant gear, the look of elegant gear, right, the stitch of elegant gear, over every other piece of gear in the game. So literally, I just used to wear elegant gear on all of my wizards, or I guess I really shouldn't say elegant gear, I really mean insignia gear. I used to use insignia gear on all my wizards because I thought that it looked the coolest, right? But that's all I would use, though. I literally disliked every other piece of gear in this game because I simply did not like it, and it didn't look nearly as good as elegant gear or insignia gear. So let me just go ahead and log out real quick, though. I mean, you can still see to this very day, I still have quite a bit of elegant gear, or quite a bit of insignia gear. I keep messing that up on all my wizards. I mean, you got this guy's hat right here. Storm's got 2 pieces, and then Ice has the elegant boots, Balance has the elegant boots, and then I believe, yeah, my Death's got an insignia hat. So I kind of mix and match a lot more nowadays, which I am definitely proud of, and craft, you know, more unique stitches, right? Which, I mean, that's just a lot more fun for me, at least nowadays, because yes, I have definitely gotten bored of insignia gear, but man, back in the day, that is just all I would wear. Like, I was just hardcore, super picky with my clothing, just would only wear school symbol gear no matter what. But anyways, that is pretty much going to be it for this video, everyone. I really hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, you could always leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it immensely if you did that. that. But hey, nonetheless though, thank you for watching the video anyway. But yeah, that's gonna be all for me though, everyone. Make sure to leave your thoughts, feedback, opinions in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the next video or stream, whenever that may be. So take care, and peace out, guys.